Good afternoon, folks. We're going to pick up where we left off last time, following the more DML PowerPoint. We can try to get through that today. We're running out of time. Okay. That's not the right one. Okay, but we'll use the simpler example from the most recent assignment for moving on. Okay. So let's see, I don't think, yeah, it has enough data for us to try to test everything out here. Okay, so SQL more DML. Alright, and so the homework here is due in a week, but we have this starting point. Huh. I wonder if I changed the name. Already a great start. Joins. Homework start. What if Replic's freaking out? Anyway, I guess we can start talking about it while that loads. So, we had spent a long time talking about joins because basically everything in a relational database is going to utilize joining information between two tables, or joining the data between two tables to actually create some useful information. All right? So look back if you need information on that, but we're going to move on now to some other things you can do in DML. All right, so joining is critical. You have to know how to do that. You can't avoid knowing that. The rest of this stuff is for very specific cases, but I would consider it basic SQL knowledge. And again, these are something that may not, if you teach yourself, these things may or may not be included with examples. So I'm trying to give you a more useful set of skills or tools so that if you are involved with this, you will be the most prepared of anyone that you're competing with to get a job. So please take it seriously. All right. So here we have a select distinct statement. All right. Well, now it's loading. Did I just lose all of those? Huh. Oh, it's not searching the language. You used to be able to search by language in here. Odd. Well, it should be in here. There it is. I may have to update that link. Let's see. So I haven't had time to check my emails yet for over the weekend, but I'm sure hopefully someone mentioned that. Oh, actually, you know what? It was a holiday, so if you didn't start on the homework, that's totally understandable. But I guess it'd be nice to fix it before. Oh, good. That link works now. All right. So we've got some basic information to mess around with. So let's try the select distinct. So if you know what the word distinct means, it'll help you understand what you're doing here. So let's go. Do we actually have some distinct data in here? Yes, we do. Let's look in registration, and we just want a list of every course that by code that people have registered for. So we don't care who registered for it, and we don't need to know how many people registered. We just want to know a list of those courses. So in our registration table, we can look for the CID for course ID. We want the distinct values of the CID. So registration.cid. Registration. Oh. Yeah, is it not called CID? Just looked at that. CID. Registration, CID. It's lying to me. Oh. You have to finish writing the command, right? From registration. There we go. Feel free to correct me as we're going along here. If you're watching this recording and you notice any errors that I didn't catch or have any solutions to the problems I get stuck on, definitely mention those to me. Okay, so look, even though in the registration table there are 4 Chem 101s and there are 5 Chem 102s and there's multiple of everything, by using select distinct, it will grab the column that you select and it will remove any duplicate values. So let's say how many chemistry courses are there that have students registered in them? Okay, so we could do where actually we can't do that yet, but it's the next thing we're going to look at. So here is the distinct example. So we've got that. Oh, I forgot to fork this. So you don't want to change your starting point. So we'll call this more DML after joins. And we'll use some joins in here, but well, I'm not going to focus on it. So, distinct example. Which one is it in here? Oh, it's 2 dashes. Okay, and now let's take a look at that. So that one's extremely straightforward. A lot of these are just straightforward. Okay, and that one that modifies the select statement. Okay, so what if I did select both columns here? So registration CID dot registration dot SID. Okay, and so if you do 2 columns, what do you think's happening? it's actually going to show every distinct combination of those. So now I'm trying to think if I can find an example here. I have such a small amount of data to pull from in here. Did I not do two of the same names? And I can't edit. Well, in here I can edit it, so maybe I'll just fix it to make an example. The reason it shows every record here is because the only way that the information can get into this table is if it's a primary key, because in registration the primary key is a many-to-many, it's the in-between of a many-to-many table. So its primary key is both columns, which means every record in here has to be distinct the way we set this up. So that's why it just shows everything. So whether we use distinct in this example or not won't change anything. So I will create an example that does. Let's add another record here. The same, someone now is in the, we have a new student that has the exact same name as another student. Okay, and so we can pull out, I'll go ahead and comment this one out, but you guys know you can turn that back on to test it out if you forget. And so we're going to look at, I'll call this select or distinct examples. There we go. Make it stand out. Okay. So let's do select distinct students dot fname. Yeah. And we want that from the students table. Okay. So we should only see one Lamar, but if we don't have distinct, it's going to show both Lamars. Right? So there you go. There's that. And now let's say we only want to see distinct first name and last name pairs. So I think to make this example more useful, I also need to add another person with the same first name, different last name, and the same last name, different first name. So we will have a, and I'm making these values unique because this is the primary key. Okay. So we'll have Mose Messina, he was already in there, and so we'll have Bose Messina, and we'll have Mose Messina. So now we're grabbing out just the distinct student's F name. Okay, so we have two Mose, oh wait, do we have two Mose? Yes, two Mose and two Lamars. So we have, so selecting distinct there, we have that. And then if we, and so even though the two Mose have different last names, we're not seeing them differently here, but if we add in students.fname and students.lname with select distinct, now we can see Mose and Bose Messina and Mose Messina, because the combination of those two is distinct from the others. So Mose and Bose Messina are related, but Mose Messina is not related to the others at all. It's just a coincidence. Alright, so there is another example there of where you would use select distinct, grabbing values from distinct values from one column or from multiple columns, but it will always use the combination of the columns to determine the distinction between the two, or between every record. Okay, so there's that, the distinct statement. And I want to remind myself on here, oh good, I do use distinct there. In the next part, this will be even more useful, okay? Alright, so now order by. The order by keyword is used to sort, right? And it's a modifier that goes after the where. So here's an example. I don't know why this is on. There we go. That's weird. This is all one command. So it's up to this point, select from where. Those are all everything we've already learned. There's nothing new there. The only new thing is now, after you're done doing your select and from, if you have a where, you have to add it. If you don't, you can ignore it. And then that's when you put your order by. Because in the select, we are choosing our fields, so our columns. And then in the select from, we're choosing our columns in the table. In our where, we're selecting rows. So until we know which columns we're getting and which rows we're getting, we can't begin sorting them. So that's why the sort is after the where. And remember, if you don't include a where, you're just saying include all the rows. But you can filter out rows by giving a conditional expression. And we've already talked about that. But okay, so we want this order by part. And so we can see the result of this last query. We'll put that in there. We'll put this in here. Turn that on. Get rid of that. And we'll keep this up here. Stop it. Animals. Sorry about that. Okay. And we'll label this section so you know what we're talking about. This is the order by examples. Okay. So there are different ways you can control this. We can see the results from the previous one are not alphabetical based on the first name or the last name. They're just coming out the order they were put in the table. So let's say we want it sorted alphabetically by first name. We just put students.fname in our order by. Okay, and then we double check what the syntax is in SQLite, because I'm using my SQL syntax and it doesn't always translate. Okay. Looks like the right syntax, but I did copy. Okay, if you copy out of the PowerPoint, sometimes it gets mad. So I'm going to type the exact same thing. And then get rid of what was from there. And use. This is not a magic trick. Now it works. So whatever they used in here is probably a tab. When I copied this, maybe these spaces are tabs. It doesn't, I don't know. But when I pasted it in, it looked the same as this. It wasn't running. So if you're copying code out of the PowerPoints and it's not working, you may have to type it out. And it's going to be very frustrating because I knew I typed it right, but it wasn't working because I copied it out of the PowerPoint. Anyway, the point of this was to see now the first names are in alphabetical order. How often do people need first names in alphabetical order? Probably not that often. So a more accurate thing would be, let's do it by L name first. Okay. And so now we have, oh, and if we're going to do that, we probably want to show the L name first. And so we can just flip those around in our select. Okay. And in this case, I don't think we don't want distinct, so we'll get rid of that. We want to see all the students in alphabetical order by last name. Okay, and we have 2 Messinas, and it's not putting the first names in alphabetical order even within the last names. So all the last names are in alphabetical order right now. Okay, pause it and check if you want to. The first names are not, because we can't have both in alphabetical order at the same time. But we can have the first names alphabetical within each last name group. So here it doesn't matter because Lamar Holloway and Lamar Holloway have the same first and last name, so they can go in any order. But down here, if we want Messina Mose, if we want Mose to be after Bose here, we have to specify that in the SQL. So let's order by L name, and then we just put comma, students.fname. And now, within the alphabetization of last name, the first names will be alphabetized. So, to make this even crazier, we could put some more Messinas in here. And let's put them in reverse alphabetical order, or mixed alphabetical order. So what's something between B and M? How about Dos Messina, and something between, or no, after M. Actually, before B. We'll go Archie Messina. And this doesn't have to rhyme, so I don't know why I called it Dos. Anyway, so now we need to, oh, I forgot to give them unique primary keys. It's important, right, to maintain the database integrity, the integrity of our data. So now we have A, B, D, M, that's alphabetical by first name, even though it's M, B, D, A here. And that's because we did order by, and we wanted these ordered by this in this order. Okay, so I'm very interested in words, history, and their effect on us as people. And people with last names that are later in the alphabet have a major difference in their life than people. So let's use the extreme example. People with an A last name primarily get to go first in any type of situation that's done alphabetically. So they get to do things sooner than other people. They may have less patience, because in most situations involving that, they don't have to be patient. They're going to be towards the front of the line. People with a Z last name most likely have resigned themselves to going last, have had to develop patience in numerous situations. They're going to be very different people based on that experience. So, to be fair, let's reverse the alphabetical order of this list and give them that experience of getting to go first. Okay. So let's print out another list of the students, but in reverse alphabetical order. So to do that, you just add a modifier to each column that you want to sort by of either ASC or DESC. That stands for ascending and descending. So let's go descending by L name, and let's keep the first name in ascending order. Alright, and then let's comment this out so we can see the actual result. Now, some of you, when you turn in your homework, are using the example that adds space between your queries and labels it in the output. That is awesome. Keep doing that. And then the people that aren't doing that, you should look at that. I do appreciate comments in the code. That helps me grade it. And then comments, or basically output between your tables in the console here, separating out each. So anyway, the reason I thought of this is I was printing out the results of two queries. I can't tell which one's which, so I turned this one off. I don't want you to turn in homework with all the answers and it's all just jammed together. And I don't want you to turn in homework where everything's commented out except one line, because then I have to go in and comment and uncomment things. So if you can set it up to where you label, I guess this is a good time as any to demonstrate that again. That'll hopefully make it more likely that you'll do it this way if I show you an example. Because, you know, off the top of my head, I'm not even remembering the syntax. I know I got one in here somewhere. Probably didn't do it in here. Okay, so this part is important because you have to turn on the headers column so that this would make it easier. Just this would even make it easier to see. I should just put this in the actually put this in the starting point. That's my bad. And I can fix that now while I'm thinking of it. So that way, anyone that starts it after this will not have to add it. Oops. Sure works. Okay. That's saved. Okay, so we got that on here. So now I can see if I have them both on. So if you do it like this, it's all jammed together. Makes it harder for me to read and grade. I'm labeling each one in here with what it's for. Do that in your queries for any time you're writing more than one query, which is basically every SQL homework. Label each query with a comment, whichever, it just has to be, you know, what exercise it is. And then in your output, label it by using, did I do it in here? I didn't do it in here. Well, it just looks like this. Oh, no, I have to turn on something else, I think. No. I think headers is enough. Okay, so let me turn these back on so we can see how to do this. This is something, you know, that I'm constantly using new things, and there's not enough time to figure this stuff out before we're learning it. So a lot of it gets figured out as we're learning it. It's also a good example of, you know, you won't stop learning this technology. You're constantly going to have to learn to use new systems, and use context to understand things. Anyway, we're going to select new line is the one that I can't remember. How do we do a new line? That's what I need to look up. We did that in like one of the earliest examples. I'm really surprised I can't filter this by language. It's very surprising to me. Huh. Which one was that? Can I search it on home? There used to be a way you could put in like language. Darn it. Alright. This is one of those moments where if you know how to do this, make sure you contact me later. Because I swear it worked before. These things constantly change, so you have to adjust. There's nothing wrong with it. You have to be prepared for this. So this is how I deal with it. I could look up and, you know what? Let's do that. Replit search by language. Okay. By language. Okay, dead link. I don't know why they didn't just put it in here. It looks, I feel like they may have removed it. Okay, I'll just manually search through it then. Seems like a useful feature. Well, I only have SQL files for this class, so it should be, well, it's not 10 months ago, that's for sure. I guess the other thing I could do is find it in YouTube, since I made a video about it. Hopefully I was posting those links in the chat for the earlier videos. So here's where we started with SQL. Oh, but then Replit wasn't working on this day. Okay. Yeah. Oh, let's try this one. I know Replit worked to the next time after that. Okay. This is a good reason to be organized.
Good afternoon, folks.
Okay. Let's mute this. EX11. Maybe I did do this. No? Wow, I feel crazy. It's not finding anything anywhere. Oh, well, I'll just go back to the source then. New line in console. Okay, is it really that simple? No, can't be. And here we are on Stack Overflow. Ah, here we go. Wow. Select an empty string, which I have here. Okay. So we just have to do that. Oh, but we had to turn the headers off, right? Actually, let's see if that works. Yeah, otherwise it's going to call it that. Okay. That's why we had to use that block of header on, header off. Whoops, did it backwards. Headers off, then headers on. All right. So I think if we put these between them, so you're going to have to put these between them. In your assignments. See if it works. Oh, don't forget to clear the console. So now it has one here. So just between every query, you can put in one of these, and instead of just putting empty string, you can put empty string. Oh, speaking of, I should give you guys this link in the chat, since I was just complaining about the fact that I didn't put one in the chat. last time. Oh, sorry, Andy, I didn't see. Thank you. Sorry, I wasn't keeping my eye on chat. Thank you, Andy. It's probably frustrating to see me struggle when you've already told me the answer. Sorry about that. Okay. And Andy, I think yours was the one that had like the best output. And so I'm basing this off of what Andy did. Because he thought about, I'm assuming he thought about what I was going to have to do when I graded it, and interpreting just a mashed up mess of tables is not fun. Oops. So you should put one of these. Let's see if this works, or if it just breaks everything. Yeah. So you can use this block. I'll go ahead and post this in chat too, because I don't want you to have to create a separate replit for each query when you could just label them this way. And I have no idea if copying and pasting this out of YouTube is actually going to work, so I'll test that too. And then I'll undo the message here. All right, it's so finicky, at least with PowerPoint. Well, you'll have to fix the spacing if you copy it out of there, but you can just open this file and copy it out of here. Okay, so here's distinct 2 columns example. And then we have order by 2 columns. And I will say this now, and I hope that it makes sense, because we were talking about order by, and in this one we did the names descending instead of ascending, because remember, people with Z last names are used to going last, so to make it more fair, we're going to sort the list in reverse alphabetical order using this DESC modifier after the column name, the field name, in the order by clause. Okay, so this, see now, as I look at each query, I can say, okay, that's this one. And so, for example, you could just change this to exercise 1, exercise 2. In the latest exercise that you guys are working on, I actually posted the answers, not the answers, but the result that the answer should give you. So if you write the SQL based on the prompt here, it should give you this result. If it doesn't give you this result, then you probably wrote the query wrong. If you think it's right, there are times when I overlook very basic things, and because I have to think of examples, a lot of examples for a lot of things, so I miss a lot of little things. If you think yours is right, talk to me about it, because either I made a mistake or there's some part that you're not understanding, and so if I can help you understand that, it's going to be much easier for you to continue on, and it'll be much nicer for other students if I can fix the problems. Okay. So now we got those labeled. Forgot to actually change the name on these. So this is order by 2 columns. This is order by ascending, and one's descending and one's ascending. Okay. And so you notice in this order by up here by these 2 columns, we didn't specify ascending or descending. So it does default to ascending, which is unfortunate for people that have a Z last name. But that's the way it is. They're probably used to it. Okay. So there is your order by clause. Okay. And there are some examples in here of you can create this table, insert these values by copying that code. You may have to retype it just because of the way PowerPoint is. Or you can just trust me that this is going to be the result when you run this query. So here we're ordering by 2 columns just like we did in the other one. And so each city is forming a group, but they are all sorted alphabetically. And then within the groups, we're also sorting the state codes alphabetically. Okay. And then here, if we order by, ooh, did I not change this? Yeah, found an error. Here we want to sort by state first, and then city. Probably makes a lot more sense. Would be more useful information, but there may be situations you need it one way or the other. So this is telling us the cities. This is an easy way to see, what cities are in each state, and then, but we can find the state quickly because they're alphabetized. And then we can see the cities in that state quickly because they're alphabetized. Where the other way around, yeah, I can't think of a reason why you would need to sort by city names, but there could be a reason, and you can do it. Okay, how about the limit keyword? This is another, so order by is critical. Order by is critical, joins are critical. Distinct is a very specific use case, but it's still important. Limit is also a very specific use case, but it's still valuable. All right, and so after you're done ordering the records, you have now a list of records that you're ready to output or use for whatever you're using it for. If you only want to see a certain number of records, you can use limit. All right, and so let's try that here. We will go and create a limit examples section in the demo. Oops. All right, and then we can put a little label here. Limit. Let's run the exact same query we ran before, but we'll add limit to it. So after your select, so you always start with select, then you always go to from, and then the where is optional, the order by is optional, and the limit is optional, but they have to go in that order. If you use them, they have to go in the right order. And like I explained earlier, it's because you're narrowing down the columns you're going to output, and then the rows you're going to output within the where. Here we're going to get all the rows because we're not specifying. We're going to sort them, but let's say we only want the first 3 records. We can do limit 3. Okay. So down here, the limit example, we set it to 3. So we'll call that limit 3 records. And it outputs 3. Right now, that probably doesn't seem that useful, but in the next part, when we look at aggregate functions, limit can be used in a way that's extremely useful. Same with distinct. At this point, you should understand what they do, but I can't give you very good concrete reasons why to use them yet. I mean, distinct, obviously you can see. If we want a list of all the unique values of any column, you can do that. But what about limit? And that's really the only example we need for that for right now. So Very straightforward. Next is another very critical part of SQL is the like operator. So earlier I said, what if we wanted to find all the records in the registration table that so how many students are registered for any chemistry course, or a list of this is what we're limited to right now, a list of the courses that have students registered in them, the chemistry courses. So we know so just looking at the data, we know there's two. Chem 101 has at least one student registered in it. Chem 102 has at least one. So it should show us, we want a query that'll show us Chem 101 and Chem 102, because those are the only chemistry classes that people are registered for right now. So this is the like operator. Okay, and the like operator is used in the where clause, and so up until this point you would use equals, greater than, or less than as your comparison operator for your conditional statements. So you could look for, what are the students that have the first name Mose? How many students have a GPA over 2.5? Or list the students that have a GPA over 2.5. All right. Now we can use the like operator and just look for patterns. Okay. So what pattern is in common between the chemistry classes in this list? So take a look. What tells you which of these is a chemistry class? So the first column has the course codes, and the ones that are chemistry start with CHEM. So we want all the records that have the course ID that starts with CHEM. That's how we're going to limit it. That's our pattern. Any name that starts with CHEM. Okay, so let's grab, we'll do this a couple of ways. We already have a query that's grabbing all of the CIDs. Let's start with that. Because we just want to filter that down. We want to get, this is going to be the same result, except we just want to filter out everything that doesn't start with CHEM. So that's where we would include a where clause, where registration.cid is like CHEM. This is case sensitive at this point. And then if I do this, it's going to only give me rows that have a CID of CHEM, which none of these do. They have CHEM 101 and CHEM 102. So I can put the asterisk here, and that means whatever I'm matching has to start with CHEM, and then after that you can put whatever you want and it'll match this. Okay, so let's label that and take a look at it. All right. What happened? It's not returning any records. Okay. Let me check the syntax. It actually might be different in SQLite. It's not an asterisk. Duh. Okay. It's a %sign in SQL. So what we're doing here, this like operator, we're creating a pattern that can match multiple records. Our pattern here is chem%. So we're telling the computer, match this pattern, and this is how you tell it any word that starts with CHEM. And after that, it can have anything. So let's make sure it works here. There we go. So the like chem, here it is. These are the only 2 chemistry courses that have people registered. And so just to show you, let's go ahead and add another chemistry course into the courses. And we'll call this theoretical advanced chemistry. Okay, and then I capitalized the first word here, but you can store all your values as lowercase because there are numerous functions within SQL and within programming languages to fix those into uppercase. But if you're searching in the data and some of the fields have capital letters and some of them don't, it's going to cause you a huge headache pulling the information out. And if you use a standard like all lowercase, you can still do everything you need to do, and it'll just be, you can always rely on the fact that it'll be lowercase when you are searching it. Okay. Like all these first and last names here are capitalized. So now I don't have a standard. Or the standard could be names should be capitalized, because very rarely is there a time you use a name, you're going to write or send out a letter or create a list of people's names where they're not capitalized. Anyway, you have to be flexible. Okay, anyway, so there we used like to get all the courses that are chemistry. We could do, what about all the how many 101 classes have students registered for them? How would you write that? So we don't want, what we want is we want anything that ends in 101. Oops, I should change this here. Okay. So if this is, it starts with chem and then you can have anything after it, how would we do start with anything and go to chem 101, or I'm sorry, any characters and then 101 at the end? Well, you just have to write that pattern like this. %101. This means any characters, but the end has to be 101. Okay, let's see if that works. So here's the like 101. So there's Chem 101. I guess there were no other 101 courses. There is CIS 099 and Math 005 and Math 100. So let's find something. Let's look at the data and find something. Okay, so in the courses table we have course IDs, titles, which I think are just course names. Is it called CNAME? Yeah. And then we have the teacher ID that tells us which teacher is teaching it. Let's use the like operator to find every course by ID in the courses table that has the word advanced in it anywhere. How would we do that? Pause the video and try to do it yourself, and then I'm going to do it now though. Okay. So we're going to do, so this would be like, so we have to check where the course, the C name oh, I'm not CNAME here, sorry. We wanted to find the word advanced in the name, but it can be anywhere. It could be at the beginning, it could be in the middle, it could be at the end. So if this one is, if you put a percent at the end, if you're looking for the start at the start of the word, and you put the percent at the beginning when you want to designate the end of the word, what if you don't want to designate the end or the beginning? You just have to put percent on both sides. So this means it has to match this pattern. There can be any number of characters, including 0. This means 0 or more characters of any character. Then somewhere it has to find the word advanced, and then after the word advanced we don't care anymore. So this is how you say any result that has the word advanced in it. Okay, so let's build that. So this is in the courses table, so we'll have to do select courses dot let's grab the ID and courses dot CNAME. That'll just give all of them to us, right? From courses. Okay. And now we want to filter them out to only show the ones with an advanced course name. Or, I'm sorry, where the course name contains the word advanced. So we can say where courses.cname is like advanced with, so percent advanced percent, and that should do it. Clear the console. Okay, so oh, it's courses.cid. So there it is. We have CIS 100 is Advanced Web Design, Chem 102 is Advanced Chemistry, and Chem 103 is Theoretical Advanced Chemistry. It cut off here, either due to the limit of the characters in the table. Let's check that. Courses can only have a CNAME of 30. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's not 30. It's hard to estimate the number of characters in a long string of characters. They add up quickly. But I know that's not 30, which means the display isn't showing any more than this number of characters. So to turn that on, I know we looked at this before, SQLite 3 column width. Nope, that's the length of the field. No, I think, so he's saying we can't do it. I know we found this before. I've seen it before. Because we're setting it to dot mode column. We already have that. But you should be able to specify the widths of the columns somewhere. I'm relying on you, Andy, if you remember this. It's been too long since we did that initial exercise that I've lost, apparently. Width, there it is. There it is, dot width. Found it. So, down in our output, we can set the width here. Dot width. And we want to set the first column to, I don't know, 10, and then the second one to 30. See if that works. There we go. So now we can see that in the output. So it was there. We didn't lose any of the characters when we inserted it into the database. We didn't lose any characters in the resulting table when we ran the query. It's just the output that was adjusting it. It's very important to understand that, because if someone is grabbing this information for some sort of application, so if someone's written a program that will pull information out of the database, it will get the entire result. It's just there's a limiter on the console that default limits the width of your displayed columns to something lower than 30. You could look that up. Anyway, as long as you know that it's doing that, you're fine. Okay, we got 4 minutes. Let's see what's next. Oh, there are other ways to make a pattern. So if you use like the percent, it's a wildcard that says a substitute for 0 or more characters in your pattern. An underscore is a substitute for a single character. So let's do that, and then we should be done for now. So like operator. There are other ones. The two that I put are the most common. Okay, those are there. Maybe that's it. I thought there were more than that. Alright, well, let's not worry about it if that's the main. Those are definitely the main ones. Okay, so let's say you want to search for people that only have a 3-letter last name. So I guess in these labels I should have been talking about what we're looking for. So like students with 3-letter last name. Okay. Here's what that would look like. We would want to select students dot L name. I mean, that's the only one we really need, but you can pull any of the other fields from these records. We're pulling that from the students, and we want to check where students dot L name is like 3 underscores. So this is, it'll match anything with 1 character, match anything with 2 characters, match anything with 3 characters, if I'm remembering this right. So, Oh, I forgot to take this off. We should just be we'll need to change our width back so we can see everything. It looks like it's not pulling it though, so my bad. Something I did wrong here. It's because it should show. Oh, there's no one with a 3-letter. Let's do first name. I was looking at Tad, but that's a first name, not a last name. Okay. So which students have a 3-letter first name? So we'll just do this. 3-letter first name. So it shows Tad. He's the only one that has a 3-letter first name. And so this is, you can search by number of characters. You can combine the percents. So how would you do every name that has at least 5 characters or more? Well, if it needs 5 characters minimum, you put 5 underscores. Whoops. We'll do 3-letter F name. I'm trying to make this fit here. Alright. Oh, it's because I'm changing the width in the wrong place. We'll just set it to 30/30 up here. And that's setting the minimum of the width. Alright, now I'm all confused. Okay, 3-letter F name there. Next is all people with 5 or more letters. How would you do that? Well, here we're checking for 3. If we need 5, we put 5 underscores. But what if they have more? We want people that have more, but we don't care how high it goes, so we put any number. Okay. 5 or more letters. And this one is 3 letters. Alright, so 5 or more letters. F name is here using the pattern. Okay, we're 1 minute over, but now that I did the 5 or more, I'm trying to think how you would do that for, like, if I wanted to do 4 or less. How could we do that? There's got to be other operators. So SQL like, let's try a different source here. So percent, we have underscore. Nope. Is that really all we have? Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could do it. You could probably find the number of characters from a field, the value of the field, and count that. But that is a little more complicated, so I'm not going to do it in this video. I'm curious though, so I'm going to do it on my own right after the video, and then I'll just add it in at the end if I figure it out. So anyway, this should help you with the homework, and we're running out of time, so I may have to do another live stream sometime this week. Again, remember you don't get points deducted or anything if you don't show up, but you might want to watch it later to get the info you need for the assignment. Because we only have this week and next week for instructional days, and the following week is finals week. And I have to have everything that you want to count for a grade submitted by December 16th, because I have to have the final grades done, I think, either on Friday or Monday. But it's going to be a lot to grade. So please do it as soon as you can. But you do have till the 16th. So, all right, well, you folks have a good day, and I will see you sometime this week. I'll post it in the class. Have a good day.